Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me out in the farm. This is week 2, and in the prior week, you've been thinking a lot about yourself, trying to reset. You know, are you motivated toward an income for a specific reason? You know, what do you want? Are you competitive? Why would we earn a certain amount of money that would cause us to have drive, develop new skills and habits, and learn how to sell in a way that people love us? We're going to learn something deeper about Sell with Class, how people, animals, and us, we're all different, and we've got to adapt to each other in order to develop trust. So we're going to walk into the barn and meet a special person, and she's going to teach us how we're all very different. You ready? Come on with me. Well, this is Bella. She's a Rocky Mounted gaited horse, and right now she doesn't want me to touch her head because she wants to be fed. And that she's even here for the cameras shows that she trusts me and that she realizes that I wouldn't lead her into anything that would hurt her. You see, they're prey animals, and they're always worrying about that. And they're different too. Each horse is different. Linda and Pat Pirelli have taught my bride Sheila that horses are different, and she's become kind of a horse whisperer. I don't know if you ever saw that movie that Robert Redford directed, which was The Horse Whisperer, but there was a young horse that was hurt early in life and wouldn't ride and would buck, and he had to learn and listen how that horse was different and get that horse to trust him so that the horse could progress and get better. And we're no different. We really won't respond to people if we don't trust them, and neither will the folks that you sell to. They really do have different personality, different customer types, and they think differently. You know, we've got the thinkers and the dynamos and those that we've looked at in this program, and all of them like a buying experience that's adapted to their needs. And she likes a riding experience that's adapted to her, and she also likes to move in a certain way. And when you learn that, then you know how to approach her and develop rapport with her. So let's think about that in terms of people. And now she wants to be fed, so I'm going to get her her food, and we're going to go out in the farm and talk some more. See you in a moment. Well, thanks for meeting Bella with me. Isn't she great? We're all different, strange, weird, and wonderful, ready to change and get better. Did you know that in 5th century BC, Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, observed 4 personality types: choleric, sanguine, phlegmatic, and melancholy. And he thought that the body humors kind of interacted in such a way that those personalities were produced. And since then, psychologists have confirmed through science and measurements that those 4 exist. And we're learning that, right? We've got dynamos, high ego-driven, low empathic people, thinkers, low empathy, low ego-driven, and diplomats, very relational, very empathic, and lower ego-driven. And then we have the performers, high ego-driven and high empathic. And it falls in line with the same personality types that we saw in 5th century BC. So it's true, we're different. Our brains literally, one part of that brain actually fires off so we can be empathic, and somebody else hasn't really learned that, or their genetics were not in such a way that they were made that way, and that's fine. We need engineers, we need salespeople, we need all kinds of folks, and our personalities cause us to do things with less stress, which means when people walk in the store, they want to buy in a way that makes them comfortable. and they want a salesperson to adapt to them in that way too. It's the same with horses. It's the same with children when you're teaching them sports. Remember that. And as we go through this session, learn, and your emotional intelligence will grow. You'll learn about yourself and how you are different and how you are made in very special ways, and how people who walk in to buy are wanting to do that in a certain manner. Well, you've now joined me on one of America's favorite places to be, a baseball field. And there are kids, America's children, everywhere in all the states in fall ball, getting ready to play baseball. And this is the grass that's surrounding home plate. And this dirt here, I remember kids that were 11 or 10 or 9, they would want to eat dirt if you just told them to do something, because they so much wanted to hit the ball and do well. And over here is home plate. We're going to move over here and take off the cover, which they've got on here to protect it from rain. And boy, over the last 20 years of coaching baseball, I remember so many kids that would come up to home plate and get ready to bat, and I was over there in the coach's box trying to help them from third base. And a lot of times it didn't do well because I wasn't adapting to them, both during practice and during the game. You know, my kids, my guys that have grown up now, they all batted differently and all approached playing differently because their brain chemistry was different. You know, Taylor, he wanted to do very well and to be recognized for hitting the ball, and he felt his way to the ball. He didn't particularly put the bat in any place. He felt his way to that position and hit the ball well, as long as he was feeling good about how he was being recognized and the kind of attitude I had at the box over there. And then Matt, well, of course, he's our engineer of the guys, and he's my oldest. And when he approached the plate, it was step 1, step 2, step 3, and he swung his back 2 or 3 times each time, and he would get his weight on that back foot and place that bat in exactly the right position to swing. He did that same thing every time, and when he looked at me, he didn't want me to be too emotional, or he just wanted me to give him the sign so he could go back to his routine. But Ryan, you know, Ryan's the youngest, and he was different as well. He would approach the plate wanting to do his job, and the worse it got in the game and the more you know, it was on the line, the more he focused on the ball and putting the ball in right field, giving himself up if he needed to in order to move the runner along, just wanting to do his job. And it's the same way for kids at home, grandchildren, or when you go into a store. People approach what they do differently in an experience that feels good to them based on how their brains are working. Folks want to walk in and they just want to talk sometime. They just want to feel good about the place before they start getting into the purchase. And then somebody else, they walk in with a checklist, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's get it done, let's get out of here. And you're just one of those pieces to get their task done. And the next person walks in, man, when they buy, they want to make sure that the phone is going to give them a good image when they leave, and that they're the center of attention. They've got the phone that's got the most pizzazz. And then finally, the other person walks in, the thinker. They've already done the research. They've checked out 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They're going to check you out. They're going to make sure everything's accurate because they don't want to make a mistake. And this is the same way with kids batting or kids at home. You'll see their personalities from 2 or 3 or 4 on up. We're all that way. But when we learn and when we get a greater emotional intelligence to change who we are, in other words, to adapt and let the other person be comfortable, especially in the buying experience, they're going to end up thinking we're like them, but also they're going to like the way it's going, and they're going to love to buy from you. So you're learning how to sell in the way that people love you, but you're also learning how to teach baseball players how to bat in a way, as a coach, in a way that they will love learning. So it's everywhere with significant people in your life, and the people walking in a store. Remember, sell to people in a way that people love you, and that means adapting to them.